Diego Maradona, cocaine, and ephedrine bans. The tumultuous life of football legend Diego Maradona included significant struggles with addiction that publicly marred his extraordinary career. His first major public drug scandal occurred in 1991 while playing for Napoli in Italy. After testing positive for cocaine following a league match, the Italian Football Federation imposed a 15-month ban, subsequently extended worldwide by FIFA. Just as he appeared to be revitalising his career, a more startling incident unfolded at the 1994 FIFA World Cup in the United States. Following a memorable goal against Greece, Maradona's exuberant celebration aroused suspicion. He subsequently failed a drug test for 5 variants of ephedrine, a stimulant. This resulted in another 15-month ban from all football activities and a $20,000 fine from FIFA. For a player still at the peak of his powers, these bans were career-altering, preventing his participation in the remainder of the World Cup and effectively concluding his international career. Dani Alves, sexual assault conviction. One of the most profound recent shocks to the football world involved Dani Alves, a player celebrated for accumulating an unprecedented 43 career titles. In February 2024, a Spanish court delivered a verdict that dramatically altered his legacy. The incident stemmed from an accusation of sexual assault by a woman at a Barcelona nightclub in December 2022. Despite Alves's denial and claim of consensual encounter, the evidence presented during a 3-day trial led to his conviction for rape. He received a sentence of 4 years and 6 months in prison, along with an order to pay the victim €150,000 in compensation, a restraining order, and supervised release. Alves was initially held in jail from January 2023, though he was released on $1.2 million bail in March 2024 pending appeal. The conviction stands as a stark testament to the severe consequences of his actions, permanently tainting the career of a truly iconic figure. Luis Suarez, repeated biting incidents. Luis Suarez is an undeniably talented striker, yet his career has been repeatedly marked by a highly unusual pattern of on-field aggression, biting opponents. This bizarre behaviour occurred on 3 separate occasions, consistently generating global controversy. The first incident took place in 2010, while Suarez was playing for Ajax in the Dutch league, resulting in a 7-match ban from the Dutch FA after he bit PSV Eindhoven's Otman Bakal. In 2013, during his tenure with Liverpool in the Premier League, Suarez bit Chelsea's Branislav Ivanovic, leading to a substantial 10-match ban and a £40,000, approximately $60,000 fine from the FA. The most infamous instance occurred on football's grandest stage, the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, when Suarez bit Giorgio Chiellini on the shoulder. FIFA responded with severe penalties, a 9-match international ban, a 4-month ban from all football-related activity, and a 100,000 Swiss franc fine. Despite his prolific goal scoring, these shocking incidents remain a prominent part of his legacy. Zinedine Zidane, the 2006 World Cup headbutt. The 2006 World Cup final was the stage for one of football's most astonishing and emotionally charged moments. Zinedine Zidane's headbutt, in what was to be his final professional match, playing for France against Italy. Zidane's unexpected act occurred in the 108th minute of extra time, with the score tied at 1-1. Zidane abruptly headbutted Italian defender Marco Materazzi in the chest, leading to an immediate red card. The world watched in disbelief as the French captain walked past the World Cup trophy, his final moments on the pitch cut short. The provocation stemmed from Materazzi's deeply offensive remarks about Zidane's sister, as Zidane later explained. Beyond missing the crucial penalty shootout, which France ultimately lost, Zidane received a 3-match ban and a 7,500 Swiss franc, approximately $7,000 fine from FIFA. This indelible moment remains a significant part of football lore, marking a dramatic and poignant end to a legendary career. Eric Cantona, the Kung Fu Kick. In 1995, Eric Cantona became the central figure in one of football's most iconic acts of defiance and aggression. During a match between Manchester United and Crystal Palace, Cantona was sent off. As he departed the field, Palace fan Matthew Simmons reportedly verbally abused him from the stands. In a moment of intense fury, Cantona launched himself with a kung fu-style kick towards Simmons. The repercussions were swift and severe. The FA imposed an unprecedented 9-month ban from football, and Manchester United fined him £20,000, approximately $30,000, and removed him from the captaincy. Beyond the footballing sanctions, Cantona faced legal consequences. He was initially sentenced to 2 weeks in prison for assault, though this was later reduced to 120 hours of community service. The image of Cantona's airborne kick remains a powerful and enduring symbol of unexpected violence in football history. Sandro, Tonali, and Ivan Toney, betting bans. The integrity of modern football faces ongoing challenges, notably from issues related to sports betting. Ivan Toney, a prominent striker for Brentford and England, was charged by the FA with 262 breaches of betting rules between 2017 and 2021. After admitting to 232 of these breaches, he received an 8-month ban from all football activity and a £50,000, approximately $62,500, sidelining him until January 2024. Subsequently, Sandro Tonali, who had recently completed a significant transfer to Newcastle United, became embroiled in a similar scandal in October 2023 as part of a wider investigation into illegal betting among Italian players. Tonali admitted to placing bets on football matches, including those involving his former clubs. He was handed a 10-month ban from football by the Italian Football Federation, which was extended worldwide by FIFA, along with an additional 8 months of alternative sanctions, including mandatory therapy for gambling addiction and public appearances to promote responsible gambling. These cases underscore the significant impact of betting on player careers and the sport's reputation. Mason Greenwood. Allegations and career interruption. The career of Manchester United forward Mason Greenwood experienced a significant and prolonged interruption due to serious allegations, highlighting the complex challenges faced by players and clubs when such issues arise. In January 2022, Greenwood was arrested on suspicion of rape and assault, with subsequent charges including attempted rape, controlling and coercive behaviour, and assault occasioning actual bodily harm. The public emergence of disturbing images and audio led to his immediate suspension by Manchester United, the termination of his Nike sponsorship, and his removal from the FIFA 22 video game. For over a year, his professional status remained in limbo. In February 2023, the Crown Prosecution Service announced that all charges against him had been dropped. Despite this legal outcome, Manchester United conducted its own internal investigation, ultimately deciding in August 2023 that he would leave the club. He has since resumed his career in Spain, though the incident continues to cast a considerable shadow. Robinho. Sexual assault conviction. Similar to the case of Dani Alves, Robinho, a once heralded Brazilian forward, faced a serious sexual assault conviction that involved a protracted legal process. In 2017, an Italian court found Robinho and 5 other men guilty of gang raping a woman in a Milan nightclub in 2013. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Despite his persistent denials, the conviction was upheld through multiple appeals, ultimately reaching Italy's Supreme Court in 2022. Due to Brazil's policy against extraditing its own citizens, Robinho remained free in his home country. However, in March 2024, Brazil's top court ruled that he must serve his 9-year sentence in Brazil, upholding the Italian conviction. This decision reaffirmed the severe legal repercussions for his actions, ensuring that justice, though delayed, could ultimately be served regardless of his fame. John Terry. Racism allegation. The issue of racism in football became a prominent national debate in 2011, directly involving one of England's most recognised figures, John Terry. During a Premier League match in October 2011 between Chelsea and Queen's Park Rangers, Terry, then Chelsea captain, was accused of racially abusing QPR defender Anton Ferdinand. A video circulating after the match appeared to show Terry using a racial slur, igniting public outrage and leading to a high-profile legal case. In July 2012, Terry was acquitted in a criminal court, as the judge found it impossible to be sure of his intent. However, the Football Association launched its own investigation, and in September 2012, an independent FA regulatory commission found Terry guilty of the charge. He was subsequently banned for 4 matches and fined £220,000. The controversy also resulted in him being stripped of the England captaincy, profoundly impacting his public image and bringing the critical issue of racism to the forefront of football discourse. Joey Barton, a career marked by incidents. The career of Joey Barton stands as a unique study in persistent controversy, marked by a lengthy record of incidents both on and off the pitch. His volatile behaviour began early, including stubbing a lit cigar in a teammate's eye in 2004, which led to a £60,000 fine and compensation. In 2007, he assaulted teammate Ousmane Dabo, resulting in a 4-month suspended jail sentence and a 6-match FA ban. A year later, in 2008, he was jailed for 74 days after admitting assault and a fray in a street brawl. On the pitch, his list of violent conduct includes a brutal tackle on Xabi Alonso in 2009, earning a red card and a 3-match ban. Perhaps his most infamous on-pitch meltdown occurred in the final game of the 2011-12 season against Manchester City, where he was sent off for elbowing Carlos Tevez, then kicked Sergio Aguero and attempted to headbutt Vincent Kompany. This spectacle earned him a staggering 12-match ban and a 6-week wage fine from QPR. Barton's career illustrates a consistent pattern of problematic behaviour, accompanied by significant financial and professional penalties. Marcos Alonso, the tragic driving accident. Not all controversies are born of malice. Some stem from tragic accidents with profound and lasting consequences. The incident involving Marcos Alonso in 2011 serves as a poignant example. While a young player for Bolton Wanderers, Alonso was involved in a fatal car accident in Madrid. He was driving at 112.8 kilometres per hour in wet conditions with a blood alcohol content of 0.93 milligrams per milliliter, well above the legal limit. The collision with a wall tragically resulted in the death of one of his passengers, a 22-year-old woman. Alonso faced serious charges and was initially sentenced to 21 months in prison in February 2016. However, this sentence was later commuted to a €61,000, approximately $68,000 fine and a driving ban of 3 years and 4 months, which he had already served. Despite the final legal outcome, the incident remains a sombre mark on his past, a stark reminder of the severe repercussions of reckless conduct. Kiko Casilla, racism and discrimination allegations. The issue of racism continues to be a persistent challenge within football, impacting careers and highlighting the need for vigilance. In 2020, Spanish goalkeeper Kiko Casilla faced significant allegations of racism and discrimination. While playing for Leeds United, Casilla was accused of using racist language towards Charlton Athletic forward Jonathan Lecco during a match in September 2019. Following an investigation, the Football Association, FA, found the charge proven. In February 2020, Casilla was banned for 8 matches and fined £60,000. The FA also mandated that he complete an educational course. While perhaps not as globally prominent as some controversies involving more iconic figures, this incident underscored the FA's commitment to addressing discriminatory behaviour within the sport and its direct consequences for players. Felipe Melo, on-pitch aggressiveness. Some players gain notoriety not for specific singular incidents, but for a consistent pattern of highly aggressive and often confrontational behaviour on the pitch. Felipe Melo, a Brazilian midfielder, epitomises this type of controversy. Throughout his career, Melo earned a reputation for his hard-tackling, fiery temperament and frequent involvement in confrontations with opponents and even teammates. While no single kung fu kick or bite defines his controversy, his long list of yellow and red cards, often for dangerous challenges, arguments and provocative actions, made him a constant lightning rod. For example, he was notorious for his confrontational style while playing for clubs like Juventus, Galatasaray and Palmeiras, consistently being involved in skirmishes and often being disciplined by referees. His relentless aggression often crossed the line from competitive spirit to reckless abandon, leading to numerous suspensions and making him a divisive figure among fans and opponents alike. Lamina Yamal. Birthday party controversy. 2025. Even relatively benign celebrations can ignite significant controversy, as recently seen with Barcelona's rising star Lamina Yamal and his 18th birthday party in July 2025. While marking his milestone birthday, reports emerged that Yamal had hired entertainers with dwarfism for the event. This quickly sparked a wave of criticism from disability rights groups, notably the Association of People with Achondroplasia and Other Bone Dysplasias, ADA, or publicly condemned the act, stating it perpetuates stereotypes, fuels discrimination, and undermines the image and rights of people with disabilities. The Spanish Ministry of Social Rights subsequently requested the public prosecutor to investigate whether any human rights laws had been violated, potentially leading to fines up to €1 million, while one of the performers defended their participation, stating they were treated with respect and were simply doing their job. The controversy highlighted a societal debate about dignity, representation, and the responsibilities of public figures. The incident serves as a modern example of how actions in a private sphere, especially involving influential young athletes, can attract widespread scrutiny and spark important discussions about social sensitivity. Karim Benzema. Blackmail plot allegations. The career of one of football's most prolific strikers, Karim Benzema, has been shadowed by his alleged involvement in a blackmail plot, highlighting the potential for off-field legal entanglements to impact even the most successful athletes. In 2015, Benzema was implicated in a plot to blackmail his former France national team teammate Mathieu Valbuena over a sex tape. Benzema was accused of being an intermediary in the attempted extortion. The scandal led to his indefinite exclusion from the French national team for over 5 years, a significant professional consequence given his status as a key player. The legal process culminated in November 2021, when a French court found Benzema guilty of complicity in attempted blackmail, sentencing him to a 1-year suspended prison sentence and a €75,000, despite his continued success at club level with Real Madrid and his eventual return to the national team. The incident cast a long shadow over his international career for many years. Patrick Kluivert. Fatal car crash. A tragic event from the early career of Dutch football star Patrick Kluivert serves as a stark reminder of how personal tragedies can intersect with public life, even when legal consequences are limited. In 1995, at the age of 19, and already a burgeoning star for Ajax, Kluivert was involved in a fatal car accident. His car collided with another vehicle, resulting in the death of a passenger in the other car. Kluivert was initially charged with causing death by dangerous driving. The legal process was complex, but he was ultimately found guilty of dangerous driving and sentenced to 240 hours of community service and a 2-month suspended prison sentence. The incident, while a deeply personal tragedy for all involved, was widely reported due to Kluivert's burgeoning fame. Despite the relatively light legal outcome, the event remained a dark and sombre chapter in the early part of his otherwise brilliant career. Wayne Rooney. Personal life scandals. Even the most celebrated figures in football can face intense public scrutiny over their personal lives, as exemplified by England's all-time leading scorer, Wayne Rooney. Throughout his illustrious career, Rooney's personal conduct, particularly allegations of extramarital affairs and gambling, frequently made headlines alongside his on-field achievements. While these incidents generally did not lead to criminal charges or official football bans, they generated significant media attention and often resulted in damage to his public image and considerable financial cost through public apologies and private settlements. For instance, reports of gambling debts were frequently circulated, and allegations of affairs often led to tabloid exposés and public apologies to his family. These ongoing personal controversies, while distinct from on-field fouls or criminal convictions, nevertheless highlight the constant pressure and intense scrutiny faced by high-profile athletes, where even private missteps become public spectacles and affect their commercial endorsements and public standing. Samir Nasri and Adrien. Doping and substance bans. The fight against doping and substance abuse remains a critical aspect of maintaining fair play in football, with notable cases impacting high-profile players like Samir Nasri and Adrien. In 2018, Samir Nasri, a French international and former Arsenal and Manchester City midfielder, received an 18-month ban from UEFA for a doping violation. The ban stemmed from him receiving an intravenous drip treatment at a Los Angeles clinic in 2016, which contained prohibited substances and exceeded the permitted volume of infusion. The ban effectively ended his time in major European football. Earlier, in 2004, Romanian striker Adrien faced a more direct drug ban. While playing for Chelsea, he tested positive for cocaine. This led to his immediate dismissal by Chelsea and a 7-month ban from football imposed by the FA, along with a £20,000. Mutu also faced a lengthy legal battle with Chelsea over compensation for breach of contract, eventually being ordered to pay the club a staggering €17 million in damages. These cases underscore the severe professional and financial consequences of breaching anti-doping regulations. Alexander Kokorin and Pavl Mamayev. Assaults and imprisonment. The actions of Alexander Kokorin and Pavl Mamayev, two prominent Russian international footballers, shocked their home country and the football world when their off-field behaviour escalated into criminal violence. In October 2018, the two players, along with Mamayev's brother, were involved in two separate assaults in central Moscow, within hours of each other. First, they attacked a driver, then later assaulted a government official in a cafe. The incidents, caught on CCTV, led to widespread public outrage and immediate legal action. Both players were arrested and held in a pre-trial detention. In May 2019, they were found guilty of hooliganism and assault. Kokorin was sentenced to 18 months in a penal colony and Mamayev to 17 months. Their imprisonment, a rare consequence for high-profile athletes, sent a clear message about accountability and had significant repercussions for their careers, highlighting that no one is above the law. Franck Riberi Za affair. The personal life of French football star Franck Riberi became the subject of intense public and legal scrutiny due to his involvement in the so-called Za affair. In 2010, Riberi and several other French footballers were accused of soliciting sex from an underage prostitute named Zahia Dahar. The allegations sparked a massive scandal in France, particularly given Dahar's age at the time of the alleged acts. Riberi consistently denied knowing Dahar was underage. The legal process was protracted and highly publicised. Ultimately, in January 2014, Riberi and his fellow accused, Karim Benzema, were acquitted of the charges by a French court. The court ruled there was insufficient evidence to prove they knew Dahar was a minor. While the acquittal meant legal exoneration, the nature of the allegations and the extensive media coverage undoubtedly impacted Riberi's public image and subjected him to considerable personal and professional pressure for several years. Mario Balotelli, erratic behaviour. Mario Balotelli is a player whose undeniable talent has often been overshadowed by a consistent pattern of highly erratic, unpredictable, and sometimes problematic behaviour, both on and off the pitch. While not typically involving criminal convictions or major bans for violent acts like some others, Balotelli's career has been a continuous stream of quirky, controversial, and often baffling incidents, from setting off fireworks in his bathroom to throwing darts at youth players, driving into a women's prison, and numerous on-field tantrums, red cards for dissent, and disputes with managers. His actions regularly made headlines. Examples include disciplinary issues during his time at Inter Milan, a training ground bust-up with Roberto Mancini at Manchester City, and various highly publicised off-field antics. His consistent inability to maintain discipline, despite his immense skill, led to frequent changes of clubs and unfulfilled potential, making his career a fascinating, if frustrating, case study in a talented player's struggle with self-control and consistent professional conduct. Thierry Henrys handball, the cheating controversy. In November 2009, a crucial 2010 World Cup playoff match between France and the Republic of Ireland culminated in one of football's most infamous moments of unsporting conduct, involving French captain Thierry Henrys. With the aggregate score tied in extra time, a free kick found Henry in the Irish penalty box. In a blatant act, Henry twice handled the ball, first to stop it going out, then to control it, before crossing for William Gallas to score the decisive goal, sending France to the World Cup and eliminating Ireland. The incident was widely visible on replays, sparking immediate outrage globally. Irish players and fans were furious, and the Football Association of Ireland, FAI, even formally requested FIFA for a replay or for Ireland to be included as a 33rd team in the World Cup. Both requests were denied. Henry himself admitted to the handball after the match, stating, "Yes, there was hand, but I'm not the referee." Despite the clear violation, FIFA's disciplinary committee ruled that their code did not permit sanctions against Henry for an act missed by the referee. The controversy significantly intensified calls for the introduction of video assistant referee VAR technology, which eventually came years later and remains a painful memory for Irish football and a stain on Henry's otherwise stellar career. The Calciopoli scandal, Italian football's web of corruption. In May 2006, just weeks before Italy's triumph at the World Cup, the Italian football world was rocked by Calciopoli, a sprawling match-fixing scandal that exposed widespread corruption at the highest levels of Serie A. The scandal centred on allegations of club executives influencing referee appointments and decisions to favour certain teams during the 2004-05 and 2005-06 seasons. Intercepted phone calls revealed a network of influence, with Juventus, AC Milan, Fiorentina, Lazio and Regina among the implicated clubs. The fallout was immense. Juventus, the most severely penalised, was stripped of their 2004-05 and 2005-06 Serie A titles and relegated to Serie B for the first time in their history, starting the season with a 9-point deduction. Many of their star players left the club. Other clubs received significant points, deductions for the following season, e.g. AC Milan -8 points, Fiorentina -15 points, Lazio -3 points, Regina -11 points, and were barred from European competitions. Key figures, including Juventus general manager Luciano Moggi, received lengthy bans from football. Moggi received a lifetime ban and faced criminal charges, though many were later acquitted due to statute of limitations. Calciopoli deeply tarnished the reputation of Italian football and prompted major reforms in refereeing oversight and club governance, forever changing the landscape of the league. Andrés Escobar, the tragic own goal and murder. The 1994 FIFA World Cup in the United States was tragically marked by the murder of Colombian defender Andrés Escobar, an event that sent shockwaves far beyond the football pitch. 5 days after Colombia's elimination from the tournament, on July 2nd, 1994, Escobar was shot 6 times outside a nightclub in Medellin, his hometown. His murder was widely believed to be a direct retaliation for an own goal he scored in Colombia's group stage match against the host nation, the United States, which contributed to their 2-1 defeat and subsequent elimination. In that fateful match on June 22nd, 1994, Escobar, attempting to block a cross, inadvertently deflected the ball into his own net. This own goal gave the US a 1-0 lead. After his return to Colombia, a country deeply entrenched in drug cartel violence and high-stakes betting on football, Escobar was reportedly confronted and taunted about the own goal. Humberto Castro Munoz, a bodyguard for drug traffickers who allegedly lost heavily betting on the game, was arrested and later convicted of Escobar's murder. He was sentenced to 43 years in prison, later reduced to 26 years, serving less than 12. Escobar, known as the Gentleman, had worked to promote a positive image for Colombia, making his senseless death an even more profound tragedy that underscored the perilous intersection of sport, crime, and extreme national pressure.